The information that you found, has it been, was it research that was out there already, or is this part of
It's
the...
pretty much what I put together, but I put it together. I had the luxury of going over there just simply as a brother, a concerned
Right.
brother,
Right,
rather than a doctor.
right.
Who, so I was able to open, look at stones and have a discussion that people can understand. It's not written in the waffle batter of psychological claptrap that's impossible to read. It's well written. It's conversational.
Right, right.
It's written with a
You can read
conversational
it,
everyday tone.
Sure. It's interesting,
Yeah.
and you don't.
And, it's just
apparently,
sort of-
I've heard that you don't want to put it down. It's
Yeah,
that good.
you're just traveling through Ireland with a guy in a camper van, camping out with him, and he's telling you the story about all this madness in his family, and you're discovering, you're going with me to the records of the Lunacy Commission that ruled in Ireland.
Now, are your sisters
like that.
still alive?
Yeah, they are. Two sisters, Austin and Michelle.
Yeah.
These two here.
Those two. Okay.
And they
you're
live
the
in
little
Boston.
guy.
They live in Boston with me. I'm
That's
the
you.
little guy.
Okay, they live with you.
Yeah, this was taken in Milton, Massachusetts, where we were born.
Okay.
And that's Shauna. They're fraternal twins.
Yeah.
I was living in London, and I went over to Ireland. I came home via Ireland. It's a kind of a coming home story.
I see.
I sort of wrote myself back home, Kind of
Was
painted
it
myself
something?
into the
Was
corner.
it something that you couldn't understand when you were younger?
Yeah.
You had these sisters, and maybe we
Well,
didn't
no,
know what we did today.
When I was younger, but not as a boy, because it
I
just
see.
came out of nowhere when I was in college. I was the youngest boy.
I got you.
So they showed no signs of an underlying psychological problem.
Right.
I mean, if anything, our parents could have used some counseling.
Well,
That's how we felt.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
And then boom, it's like watching somebody disappear into an empty elevator shaft. That's how quick it is. That's how total it is. That's how devastating it is. And it's like, whoa.
Right.
They start hearing voices. They have other hallucinations too. Tactile, visual. They can think people are touching them. They can see things. But the main thing is hearing voices. And that's why I say clock radios in your head. If we can think of it that way. And then let them know if you have a schizophrenic in your life. Don't be afraid to ask them, hey, what are your voices telling you? Are they
Right.
telling you anything?
Right.
And sometimes, their voices aren't telling them the truth, and they know that too. They have a very well-developed relationship with these voices. I think of it as them having an extra set of speakers that the rest of us don't have.
But what if you know a schizophrenic that doesn't believe he's schizophrenic, or she doesn't believe that she's schizophrenic? She believes that you're crazy for not believing in them. And in many cases, that happens, right?
Well,
they think that their reality is the true one.
That's true.
And no one will listen to them.
Yeah,
And so they feel totally alone.
that's true. And that's a very sort of tautological argument, I mean, we could go back and forth on that. What is reality? And then there's been some
It's just how do you deal with them,
interesting
though?
theories about that. So, you could speculate all day about what is going on. And just because they see it and hear it and we don't doesn't mean it's not there.
Well, what's in the future for you? You're going to speak tonight at the Athenaeum?
At the Athenaeum, yes.
then
it's
where
a
do you
great
head?
privilege. Then I'm staying here, and then I'm off on the 6:30 ferry.
And then,
Porter Square Bookshop tomorrow night.
Whoa.
Ocean State Writing Conference on Saturday.
gee,
Yeah. So
you
I'm
already
trying to
got
talk
your
it up.
next book?
But I won the Penn New England Prize, and my sisters were there, and that was the best thing because they say the book is really a living document in that way. They love it. That they say that for any person who's disabled in any way, whether mentally or physically, the best thing you can do for them is to let them know that you love them and that you're not ashamed of their illness, their condition, and that you're proud to stand next to them in this life. So to have my schizophrenic sisters, who are blighted beauties now, to stand with me at this award ceremony, made that statement in such a beautiful way. And so around Boston, I have them with me often, and that's great. They were Polaroid models when the first Polaroid Instamatic camera came out.
Oh my gosh.
When you got the product literature, there was a picture with them. Polaroid wanted you to know that your kids could be as beautiful possibly as ours, as these two,
Yeah.
Austin and Michelle. But the drugs and the side effects, it ravages the body, and it's not a pretty sight physically.
Yeah, right.
But what I'm learning is, we're not bodies. We're minds.
Right.
And the minds, are we can help each other somehow and just be there for each other. So my thing for them is just to sort of try to hang out with them more. That's what I'm trying to do these days. Just be a better brother and hang out, you know, and go, hey, you know. I also want to go back to Ireland. I want to do a documentary over there because on Ireland I couldn't get arrested. You utter the word schizophrenia. That's a scary word. Schizo, a scary word.
Why?
It just is.
But yet it's everywhere over there, right?
I mean, the narrative in the media is psycho killer. That's what a schizo is.
But isn't it? There's quite a few cases of schizophrenia in Ireland.
Yeah, their rates have leveled off.
Okay.
At one time, my line on that is that you know, you didn't have to be Irish to be schizophrenic, but for a couple of 100 years, it helped a great deal. But so they know about this. You don't have to break it down for the Irish. They immediately know when you talk about this. But if you ask about it, it's too personal and too painful. So they step back from it. And to utter the word schizophrenia in the back lanes of Ireland was like throwing a cat amongst the pigeons. Just people would scatter. You know, but no one would pretend not to know what you were talking about. And that's the kind of narrative tension in my book. It's written as a, you know, I'm kind of Jack Kerouacking my way through Ireland in a camper van, and I'm getting these vibes, and I'm stepping lightly, because I understand what territory I'm on, but I have a right to know. And people would say more often than not, I'd hear, and why would you be wanting to know? You know, because they've had numbers done on the Irish. So I have a right to know. You know, since I've written the book, all of those people who wouldn't talk to me have flooded with me with emails and all of this stuff, you know, because they see that it's my family talking to their families in a non-exploitive way, you know. So no one was thrown under the bus, you know, and it's written with love and from the heart, because as the Irish know, the longest journey is from the head to the heart. The fairies were framed. It wasn't the fairies. They said the Irish were away with the fairies. So the fairies were framed. It was the famines.
Patrick, it was good to meet you.
Okay, yeah,
Thanks
you
for
too.
sharing that with
us.
us.
Hey, yeah, you too, Gino.